that if Obama fails, then we win. And nothing gets done. As we speak, they are using their power to stop this relief from going to the American people.
The only reason the unemployment extension hasn't passed is because our friends on the other side simply refuse to pass a bill that does not add to the debt.
Because Washington's designed to resist change. Look, I think it's easy to be cynical and just say, you know what, it can't be done. And I think we're in one of those moments right now.
What can Americans expect from Republicans?
Yeah, this is God's country, it's America, and if I want to wear a Rolex watch, you haven't got one, you understand? Ha ha!
Now, let's start with the big picture to deny President Obama a second term.
You know, the American people are speaking out like never before. The policies coming out of Washington are creating massive uncertainty for job creators, and the American people are suffering as a result. Government is out of control in Washington. These are the things that the American people are demanding.
All right, first of all, we'll start today out by telling you, whoo, it is Rolex time. This is God's country, it's America, and if I want to wear a Rolex watch, you haven't got one, you understand? Ha ha! I got a Cadillac, a Rolls Royce, and I got the biggest house on the big side of town. You know why? Woo! Because this is America. Well, you remember a couple weeks ago, you tore off the clothes. I said, woo, I got 600 suits. Say I'll be back again.
They figured if we just keep on saying no to everything, right? That was the basic theory.
That's it.
This is the years that the conservatives love, and they talk about, oh my God, the golden years of the 50s and 60s. If we could just go back to that.
The fraudulent claims might be, well, Johnny, yeah, he was raised on a farm, but he wouldn't help his daddy. He went off to the city and became a drug addict, and when his daddy needed the help, Johnny wouldn't come and help his daddy. But now his daddy's died, and Johnny wants the $50,000 that comes from the USDA under this claim. We have a very, very urban Senator, Barack Obama, who has decided he's going to run for president, and what does he do? He introduces legislation to create a whole new Pigford claim. We've got to stand up at some point and say, we're not going to pay slavery reparations in the United States Congress.
This is only an excuse that the Republicans have.
And we need to rein it in and begin a new drive for a smaller, less costly, and more accountable government in our nation's capital.
The conventional wisdom in Washington, and certainly among conservative circles, is that tax cuts for the rich always work. They always stimulate the economy, and what happens is the rich then take their money and create jobs with it, and the economy improves. Now, here's the problem with that. And when you look at the facts, it is completely, utterly wrong.
The document we released today finally answers the question tens of millions of Americans are asking.
Who got us into this mess in the first place?
Those are corrupt bastards. When they have their chosen one, and 9 times out of 10, heck, 10 times out of 10 in the liberal media, it's going to be the liberal as the chosen one.
And if they are disaffected and cynical and fearful and told that it can't be done, then it doesn't. And, you know, so the truth is actually words do inspire.
This is just flat out wrong. Can we say it? Can we be gutsy enough on the floor of this House of Representatives to say this is pure and complete fraud?
The Obama administration wants to extend the Bush tax cuts only for those who make less than $250,000, and he wants to let them expire for those wealthy Americans making more than that.
And my view is I don't think we can play subtle policy here.
You don't agree with Republican leaders who say tax cuts pay for themselves?
They do not.
Leader Boehner, he puts it right to you.
You know, before I served in Congress, I ran a small business. And I learned firsthand how government gets in the way of job creation in our country.
So, for example, the lowest tax rates we had in the country, almost the lowest ever, were right between 1925 and 1931. They were at about 25% for the richest people in the country. And what happened? A total collapse, the Great Depression, right? But let's look at all the numbers first and see if you can see a trend. The 2 times that the richest 1% of the country had the highest percentage of our nation's income were in 1928 when they had 23.9% of the nation's income, and in 2007 when they had 23.5% of the nation's income. What happens the very next year? 1929, crash, depression. 2008, crash, recession.
As a result of the economic disastrous policies of the current administration, millions of Americans today are out of work. And our children will be saddled with a deficit and debt that is by every definition out of control. The land of opportunity has become the land of shrinking prosperity. We have more people depending on food stamps to feed their families than at any other point in history.
But that's partly because the rich have all the money.
A man who over the years has used his money to bankroll some of the cruelest and most outrageous stunts. You offered a young boy $100 to bounce a basketball 15 times in a row, only to kick the ball away after the 14th bounce. You paid a swimming pool attendant several $100s to kick all the kids out of the pool on a sweltering hot summer day, just so you could have that pool all to yourself.
Wealth is what it's all about. It's the bottom line. And my wealth runs deeper than just dollars. Because I'm rich, flush, and extremely well off. It's not what I'm up to, Okerlund. It's what it all comes down to. And what it all comes down to is this. Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
I want to say this slowly, so there is no room for misinterpretation.
And everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
And we've heard you. We heard you loud and clear.
I got a Cadillac, a Rolls Royce, and I got the biggest house on the big side of town. You know why? Woo! Because this is America.
You cried stop.
Wealth is what it's all about.
And we assure you there is nothing more inspiring than the common voice of the common man.
It's not what I'm up to, Okerlund. It's what it all comes down to. And what it all comes down to is this. Money isn't everything. It's the only thing.
To deny President Obama a second term.
I think the American people are hungry for something different and can be mobilized around big changes, not incremental changes, not small changes, because I want to tell them, yes, we can.